So why do I think consumer packaged goods brands and direct-to-consumer go together like peanut butter and jelly? We'll finish cutting off those crust ends because in this video I'm going to be talking about a strategy that CPG brands are not utilizing and can open up a Pandora's box of opportunity. So you guys have heard me, if you've followed me for long enough, about consumer packaged goods or CPG this or that, and direct to consumer is good because of this or that. But what about in the area of packaging design? Can CPG packaging design be much more effective, a lot more validated by utilizing the direct to consumer channel? So before I kind of prove my point on this, let's take a look back at just kind of the physical retail ideation of product development to feedback loop cycle through the lens of CPG packaging. So first off, the entrepreneur is going to create a product. That product is going to lead that entrepreneur to some implicit value propositions. Those value propositions are going to be explicitly translated to packaging. That packaging is then complete and it gets sent to retail shelves where that product sits on the retail shelves, eventually gets sold by the retailer, and then depending on reporting cycle, you'll get a report based on the sales data of that product. Good, bad, ugly, what's causing this sales data? You get this report, like what is this telling you about your product other than it's a sales number that is pegged against some expectation that you had that's basically just a number that's thrown on a spreadsheet for budget purposes. Quite honestly, it's just completely unknown what that sales data is telling you about your product and what's working and what's not working. Based on that sales data, was it the sales promotion? Was it the placement within the store? Was it the product's price? Was it the taste of the product? What caused either a good, bad, or terrible sales number? The CPG brand, the entrepreneur, whoever's involved with this process is trying to figure out like which one of the purchase criteria or multiple purchase criteria in kind of a ranking order, like what are those? What is those purchase criteria that makes a product win, and how can that be translated throughout the current product? For the most part, entrepreneurs are just kind of going off gut, they're going off this feel, and they're trying to create a picture through various maybe quantitative or qualitative data points. And that's even if they're looking at those things. They might just be pegging their sales data against their expectation or their budget and saying we're doing good or bad and not really drilling down past that point. Now, some might say, what about doing customer surveys? What about doing focus groups or some other kind of outdated kind of marketing data discovery method? I'm not going to discount that some of that helps point you in a certain direction, but it's still very slow, very clunky. There's a lot of limitations that go on with those, where you can understand the purchase criteria, understand how your value proposition can be translated effectively against those purchase criteria. All that slow and clunky process to get some of these insights, some of this data. You are competing in a dynamic, fast-paced environment, competitive landscape. How can CPG brands improve that? How does direct-to-consumer help in this? Well, first of all, direct-to-consumer offers a shortened feedback loop. You tend to get reporting in almost a real-time way. You also own all the distribution variables. You understand what maybe minor changes you've made to the website or to traffic, some other elements that could effectively change some of the variables, physical product or its packaging. So by saying that, what is this kind of secret strategy that CPG brands are not utilizing effectively or at all with their direct-to-consumer website? Because you're doing this through one of your own websites, your own distribution points, and in a way you're kind of vertically integrated with your own store, you're able to test your value propositions on your packaging. You only have such a small little space on a digital label or on a shrink wrap on CPG products. Translate these value propositions within the framework of the purchase criteria that's out in the market. And direct-to-consumer allows you to A/B test different attributes within the product and its packaging to make sure that you're getting a quicker but also more thorough way to make pivots based on much richer data source than just some sales number from a retailer. It's kind of boundless in the amount of tests that you can do on all sides a CPG packaging equation. With a packaging design test, if you had two different designs that you believed from a creative standpoint could be effective in the market, you create two digital renders, put those digital renders up on the website depending on maybe different traffic sources. You can show one or the other based on traffic patterns or across time period to time period. And this lets you kind of see like which design is converting to sales. You don't need to make two physical different packaging designs to do this. And if somebody's buying a packaging design that doesn't match up to the actual product's packaging, that customer service side, that needing to explain a little bit about why the packaging is different than what they saw when they purchased it on the render. It's one of those easy ones. It's not something that usually causes a lot of headaches in terms of returns or anything like that. But this can also be done with different messagings. You can A/B test messaging. You can A/B test different positioning. You can even A/B test different product elements. You could have something maybe taste a little bit differently and see, maybe some reorders or view feedback, which one proved more effectively. Now that obviously complicates things a little bit because you do have to physically make two products, and a lot of these benefits you don't necessarily have to make two different packaging. You can have two different language on packaging, renders, digital renders. You can have designs, or you can have them positioned, or just some of the marketing language read differently based on maybe some different propositions that you have that you think effectively could be translated within the framework of purchase criteria. But you could do all of those things very quickly. You can get data very quickly to make pivots or understand where you have the best chance of success when you do scale this out into physical retail. Not saying that physical retail doesn't provide advantages throughout the CPG landscape, but what I'm saying is when you are looking to test and you're looking to really dial in on new products or different iterations of products, direct-to-consumer is the king for this. This is where you can really act fast, get a lot of really rich data as quick as possible to make an informed decision for your CPG brand. And we all know that the competitive landscape of CPG is super heightened at this point, so the more information, the more analytics, the more business intelligence that you can get, the better off you're going to be when you're competing against brands that have a similar ability to do so. So in closing, I make my plea to the CPG community, the CPG industry, all facets, all categories, and say use the tools that are available to you today. No one should be going into the market blind today. You should have much more information than you had years ago, decades ago. Your research and development spend should not be going to waste. You should have an idea of how to create, how to launch, test, learn, do all these things to compete against these emerging brands that are honestly eating your lunch at this point. So if you're not aware of how to use some of these tools, what tools are available, or what they can actually do for you, and just kind of advanced strategies and everything that is around this new age digital world, reach out to somebody like myself or any other people that are active thought leaders in these spaces. Don't have this ego. Reach out. I put out a bunch of content to try to help people as much as I can. Obviously, I can't speak about individual cases, and no other thought leader can do that as well. Even if you're lucky enough to be at a very big CPG firm and you have an analyst, or a bunch of analysts that look at things from an investment standpoint, they're not looking at this level. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to help support me, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button on this video. If this is the first time you've been introduced to my videos, would love for you guys to be a part of my community by subscribing to my channel. I upload several videos just like this weekly, and if you guys want to connect further outside of this platform, I do include all of my social media links down below. I just want to thank you guys again for your time. Hopefully I gave you some value in return, and we'll see you guys on the next video.